Hi, Democrats. Today is Friday, August 27th, and it's time for the Chair's Daily Live. Happy Friday. So, I come and I talk every day, and there's a thin line about what I should talk about, what I shouldn't be talking about, and what is it that folks want to hear about, frankly. And so I try to walk that tightrope and stay relevant and stay in my lane. So I've been torn as to whether or not I should speak out about the bombing in Kabul, because, I'm not in a position to affect that. But I am in a position to be a human being who cares about the lives of other human beings. And so I just, want to express my heartbreak over the loss of life that we witnessed in this dangerous time, and the loss of the lives of the innocent folks that were involved, the lives of our servicemen and women. And I just hope that we're all praying for the best possible outcome of the evacuation. And that's all I want to say. No. I'm also heartbroken over all the people who are rushing to turn this into some political issue. These are like just human beings, and those bombs did not have detectors on it to figure out if they were bombing Republican lives or Democrat lives. Those were lost lives, and I hope that we haven't lost our humanity so far that we don't recognize that they're just lives that we need to mourn and recognize. And I was told and wasn't able to get the name of the soldier that was from Oklahoma, but we lost a soldier that was from Oklahoma in that bombing. And I do send out sincerest prayers to that service person's family. So I'm going to leave that there. I know, I'm the chair of the Democratic Party, but I don't think that we should make that into a political issue. All right. So I'm going to change topics. I just felt like it was irresponsible if I didn't address it at all. So, I come and I talk about bills, elected officials, and elections, upcoming elections. And we're not in session right now. And so my bills are really about current events and things that happen in our lives that happen as a result of who we voted for, who we didn't vote for. And I started out was going to talk about our governor and the fact that he gave a speech to the Chamber of Commerce yesterday, where he was the featured keynote speaker. And wherever I go and someone invites the chair of the Oklahoma Democratic Party, I am expected to talk about what is happening in the Democratic Party, wherever I go. Even if I just kind of want to show up, if somebody acknowledges me as the chair, I'm expected to talk about what's happening in the Democratic Party in Oklahoma. As the governor, he is expected to talk about what is going on in our state. And he gave a whole speech that was recorded, and he gave a whole speech and didn't talk about COVID. Now, you guys know that I went on a week where I tried not to talk about COVID because I'm frustrated, but I have that luxury because I'm not the governor of the state whose responsibility it is to usher us through this crisis. And I just, if you have any sway with the governor, if you have a way to get to the governor, remind him that it is his job to usher us through this crisis. It is a real crisis. We are losing people. Public schools are back in session, and I guess private schools are back in session as well. And some schools all over the state have decided that they have to shut down. There was a school in Tulsa this week that planned on having a class that day, but they didn't have enough teachers to do class because they had COVID. that they got from exposure. Um, and then there's the student in Oklahoma City, the 8th grader, who lost his life due to COVID. And then there's the teacher down, I think, in southern Oklahoma who lost her life due to COVID. I just, how many folks are we going to sacrifice because our governor likes to pretend like COVID isn't real and COVID isn't happening, but it is real and it is happening and it is affecting Oklahoman lives. I don't want to talk about COVID, but I have to see if we can get the word out to those who are supposed to be guiding us through this. Our top health official in the state says he wants students in school wearing masks because masks have been proven to mitigate the spread. Regardless of what QAnon says, regardless of what hole you fell down in social media, it does mitigate the spread. So if that's not enough, right? I was talking about the dereliction of our governor, and there is not another way to talk about it. The fact that he is not paying attention to the thing that is most pressing in our state right now, and that is most pressing. But maybe he is. He's paying attention to our state in a way that isn't helpful to our state, but it might be helpful to him elevating his national profile. He has appointed an attorney general, which I've already mentioned maybe once or twice, that has a rating of incompetent, a bar rating of incompetent. But that's who we have now as our appointed attorney general. And the things that he's been directed to or he's selected to deal with are not things that help our state. They are not things that move our state forward. So the first thing that he was assigned was to overturn McGirt. And he recognized that that was above his pay grade. And so he's outsourced that. But again, that's decided. That is a decided law. And, it's about time we try and honor a treaty. But we're going to try and overturn that. And we're going to spend money to an outsourced attorney, even though we just hired an attorney general. And if that was what you were going for, why didn't you hire somebody who could take care of that? That's another issue. All righty. So McGirt was number one. Number two, let's rush the execution of Julius Jones. He has not been in office long enough to evaluate the importance of that case. He has not been in office long enough to make a decision of if this thing needs to be skipped to the front of the line. But he has decided that he's rushing to get an execution date for Julius Jones. It's unacceptable and it's despicable, but that is what he's done. It's not enough. It's not enough. Now he's rushing. I'm in Oklahoma City. I'm in the office and my phone's ringing. But he's also rushing to sue the school boards who are mandating masks. Now, our school boards wanted mask mandates, but decided not to do it immediately because of 658, trying to follow the law. But then they opened school happened, and people, students, teachers, allied professionals, janitors, cafeteria workers, all started getting COVID at rapid rates. And they decided, hey, how about we save some lives and put in a freaking mask mandate? And now our attorney general in our state has decided that he's going to rush and sue the school boards who are doing mask mandates. We have been consistently defunding education in our state. So we all know that our school boards don't have extra money, but now they're going to have to spend money to defend themselves against our state. I just wish that our elected officials from the majority party would recognize that they're supposed to be working for Oklahomans and not against Oklahomans. I had hoped to be a little bit more positive today, so I'm going to shift. You guys have gotten my take on the governor not caring about COVID, not mentioning it in his speech, even though we have hospitals who can't accept other folks. The attorney general suing the school board, rushing to execute Julius Jones, and entering into a fight on McGirt that has already been resolved. That's that. I think it's my job to make sure that we're all aware of the 1,600 COVID cases. We're all aware of what is going on in our state. So on some positive news, and I'm sorry, there is no good way to transition. The Build Back Better bus will be in Oklahoma City at Oklahoma Democratic Party headquarters, which is at 3815 North Santa Fe. 3815 North Santa Fe. The Build Back Better bus will be here in front of the office at 9:30. I'd love to see your masked faces tomorrow to help us welcome the bus, hear more about the Build Back Better plan and how it affects Oklahoma directly. I hope that I see you. And for those of you who live in counties that have propositions on the ballot on September 14th, it's not too late to request your absentee ballot. All righty. Thanks for joining me. You guys have a great weekend, and I'll be back here at 4:15 on Monday.